In the COSATU news headlines today, NUM marches to Anglo Gold Ashanti, the annotation of Provident Fund benefits is postponed again, and POPCRU takes the 10.111 strike matter back to the negotiating table. The High Court sitting in Delmas has heard how the two men who forced Victor Mlotshwa into a coffin near the Komati power station last year have pleaded not guilty to all charges. Theo Jackson and Willem Oosthuizen allegedly threatened to pour petrol on Mlotshwa and burn him alive. The video of the incident went viral on social media, and in affidavits read out in court, both Jackson and Oosthuizen claimed they apprehended Mlotshwa after finding him trespassing on the farm and in possession of stolen goods, and that they only put him in a coffin to scare him. The state called on the owner of the farm where the coffin incident happened to take the stand. Johannes de Beer said he was in Namibia when the alleged incident took place. One of the accused, Oosthuizen, said through his defense lawyer that 2 months before the Mlotshwa incident, he assisted De Beer to apprehend alleged mealie thieves, and a week later De Beer told him he used the coffin to scare the thieves off. De Beer has denied all of this. Meanwhile, Mlotshwa gave testimony in court of how his hands were tied with a short rope and clogged up against the poles of the bakkie he was loaded into. He said the two accused eventually drove him to the maize fields and they assaulted him over and over again, forcing him into the coffin while calling him names. The trial will resume on the 10th of August 2017 at the Middelburg Magistrates Court. Sizo Pamla, COSATU's national spokesperson, had this to add.
Well, COSATU's view of the Delmas court case, really, where a worker was put in a coffin, is simple. We want those barbarians and those thugs to be prosecuted and sent to jail. We have a clear view on this one. The law has to take its course. This highlights the plight of not just the farm workers, but of the villagers who live next to these white farmers. The fact that these white farmers think that they are law unto themselves is something that has to be arrested as soon as possible.
In terms of Section 150 of the Labor Relations Act, the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union met with the CCMA last week to resolve the 10.111 strike matter. POPCRU agreed with the employer in the presence of the CCMA and the South African Policing Union to go back to the negotiating table and for the strike to be called off immediately. POPCRU's Media and Communications Officer, Richard Mamabulo, elaborates on the matter.
Regarding the 10.111 matter, we as POPCRU wanted to see our members moving from level 5 to level 7 of their salary upgrades. That's what all the unions want. The challenge has been that the process has been delayed. There was a study commission in 2013 to look into the possibilities of ensuring that members get to level 7. However, there has been a lot of delays, especially in Gauteng, where in the recent past we've had a number of bargaining councils looking into the matter.
The National Union of Mine Workers in the Matlosana region went on a protest march yesterday against Anglo Gold Ashanti after the company issued a Section 189 process of the Labor Relations Act to retrench 8,500 workers at its two operations in Matlosana and Carltonville. The protest march took place yesterday from 3 p.m. and started at the Umzimuhle Shopping Center and then proceeded to the Anglo Gold office at number 1 Val Reefs. The NUM has vowed to fight and defend the working class dignity to oppose Anglo Gold Ashanti's decision to retrench workers. The union is also planning to march to Anglo Gold Ashanti's head office tomorrow. NUM's national spokesperson, Libuani Mamburu, gives more details.
The National Union of Mine Workers members marched yesterday in Matlosana to Anglo Gold Ashanti Kopanang mine to express their unhappiness after the company issued Section 189 to retrench 8,500 workers. And we must put it clear that it is not only 8,500 workers. It also includes 1,500 contractors. So the number could go high to 10,000. So on Saturday, tomorrow, the National Union of Mine Workers will embark on a protest march again to Anglo Gold Ashanti head office in Johannesburg, to express their anger again, after the company issued Section 189 to retrench close to 10,000 workers.
The National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union in Parliament says it is satisfied with the salary increase settlement it has reached with the Acting Secretary, Baby Kyawa. Nahau and Parliament have been at loggerheads for a couple of years over salary increases. Nahau's branch chairperson, Sthembiso Tembe, says they have received a 7.5% salary increase for the year and all other labor disputes have been resolved. In other news, the National Health Laboratory Services and Nahau brokered a deal earlier this week following the union's strike. Nahau spokesperson Kaya Kaba said the NHLS and the union agreed on a 7.3% wage hike and the phasing out of outsourcing. He stated that a ceasefire was brokered in the interest of averting a further crisis and also added that they had initially wanted a wage increase of 14% but revised it down to 7.3%. According to Kaba, an important aspect of the deal was that they agreed to phase out the outsourcing of workers. The union has taken a decision to suspend the national strike with immediate effect pending the finalization of the settlement agreement. Lastly, changes to the tax treatment of provident funds introduced as part of the broader retirement reforms in the year 2015 by National Treasury have once again been postponed for further consultation. In terms of the proposed reforms, provident funds would be treated the same as pension and retirement annuity funds, requiring the annuitization of benefits. This has been met with resistance, specifically from trade unions. The change would mean that on retirement, members of provident funds will only be permitted to take up to a third of their retirement benefit as a lump sum, and the remaining benefits should be preserved. However, this would only be for contributions made after the implementation date. The initial date for implementation was March 2016, which was postponed to March 2018 and has now been postponed to March 2019. The unions want to firstly understand how annuitization will fit into the entire social security reform package. But discussions on this matter at NEDLEC are still at a very early stage. COSATU's Retirement Funds Policy Coordinator, Jan Mahlangu, gives COSATU's view on the matter.
Subsequent to our demand that government postpone implementation of annuity, I'm pleased to announce that government have agreed to postpone it until 2019 to allow NATLAC social partners a space to conclude engagements on comprehensive social security and retirement reform.
For more labor news, you can visit the Shop Steward website at shopstewardonline.org.za. And that is all the labor news we have for you today. Happy Friday, comrades.